Hey guys, time for another episode in the Freeware Indie Collection, and today I'm going to be showing off a 2D platforming game called the Iconoclasts. The Iconoclasts is basically the successor to the abandoned game Ivory Springs. Both games feature a mechanic named Robin, whose hobby is considered illegal within the realms of the in-game world. As you might be able to guess, both games are by the same author, Konjak, but Iconoclasts is much better than its Ivory Springs predecessor in my opinion. But let me warn you before you download Iconoclasts off either Tidget or Konjak's website. The game is currently incomplete, but still fun and playable by any means. But it just stops at a certain point during the desert level whenever you attempt to assist some soldiers. But now on to the actual game. Let's start with the art style. As you can see on the video, the art style in Iconoclasts it's pretty, it's beautiful. The upbeat colors and beautiful world is just immersive. I found myself getting easily sucked into the world of Iconoclasts based on its art style alone. Now, the art style is one thing, and everything looks great and runs great, but let's get on to the general gameplay. The gameplay is simple and fun, with some puzzles added in to mix up the gameplay a bit. You start off with a simple stun gun, which you first use to go around and get used to its mechanic, firing it quickly to deal with smaller enemies, and then charging it by holding the mouse button to deal large amounts of damage, and occasionally clear your path of boulders. There are some boss enemies mixed in which you can easily use a charge blast from your gun to deal with the bosses quickly, and one of the bosses is encountered rather early in the game. After you become accustomed to the general gameplay involving the stun gun and general movement, you're given a wrench after a short encounter with some of the game's antagonists. The wrench has a variety of uses. You can use it to take out enemies quite easily, and it does more damage to weaker enemies than your stun gun does when it's not charged. You can also use the wrench to solve some puzzles to make your way to the next town so that you can continue with the story. This involves attaching your wrench to large socket type things and then using the wrench attack/use button to raise or lower doors. The wrench can also be used to attach to socket things in the air and swing to previously inaccessible areas, so that you can obtain items to help raise your in-game stats. Now we're going to talk about this in a minute. And later on in the desert, your wrench is used to turn gears to turn large Ferris wheel type things to help advance further in the game. So, the wrench is a very important aspect of the game. But now I want to talk about the simplistic crafting system and how it's used to raise stats. As I stated earlier, you can use the wrench to access places and get items from chests. You can use these items to walk up to specific people and talk to them to create items which would raise stats such as your attack, defense, cooldown on your gun, and efficiency with your wrench. This mechanic, full pun intended, of the game is very easy to use and is very rewarding. Alright, enough about the gameplay, let's talk a little bit about the story of the game. Apparently it's set in a world where occupations or actions which involve changing the natural world is considered sinful and is banned. Things such as cartography, mechanics, etc. General things like that are considered bad. Robin, the protagonist, uses her mechanic skill to help the nearby town in any sort of mechanical problem in which they may have, but the antagonists of the game, which are dubbed One Concern, attempt to stop citizens of the planet to upset the balance of the world and enforce laws to arrest people who mess with the natural world, such as Robin. Although it's hypocritical, they will use any means necessary to ensure this, even using their own mechanics to put an end to it. The dialogue between NPCs is very humorous at times, as well as immature, but it all adds to the personality of the game. Now, one of the best parts of the game, in my opinion, is the audio and music. All of the music is upbeat, catchy, and is just amazing. Each song fits its respective level very nicely and is pretty much unforgettable. Other audio such as running, jumping, gun sounds, and whatever else sounds pretty good too. It's really very good for a 2D platforming game. Alright, that's all I have for the Iconoclast for now, and if you're a fan of good platforming/indie games, then I think that you should play the current build of the game, and keep an eye out for the completed/updated version of the game. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, this was Rainbow Eon, and stay tuned for the next episode and some more awesome indie games.